Hey friend, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, my name is Megan from Gray Arrow Tarot, and I am a certified transformational tarot coach and an intuitive tarot reader. And today we are going to look at the secret to finding your soulmate. Now, while soulmates don't have to be romantic, in today's reading, we are going to be focusing on romantic soulmates. That's my intention for this reading, and I imagine that's part of what you were looking for, most likely exactly what you were looking for when you clicked on this video. So we can just go ahead and dive right in. I'm excited to see what comes up for you. What you're going to do is go ahead and pick your group, pick your pile. You cannot choose wrong. Whatever group is speaking to you has a message for you. This is going to be pile number 1. This is pile number 2. This is pile number 3. And this is pile number 4. If you are feeling called to multiple groups, it likely means there are messages for you in multiple piles, and you are perfectly welcome to listen to as many as you are called to and pull out the messages that deeply resonate with you. Just know that because this is a general reading, every message that comes up may not be for you, and that's perfectly fine. Just take what resonates and leave the rest for who it's meant for. You can go ahead and choose your group. If you would like to sit with the cards for a little bit longer, you can pause the video here. Otherwise, when you're ready, you will find the timestamps in the description box below, and I'll see you at your reading. Hey pile 1, welcome to your reading. Let's see the secret to finding your soulmate. Let's see, we've got 1 flipped over. Yeah, just 1. 2. 3. Man, the card's really flipping for you. Oh, okay. I was going for 4, but we will take 5 for you since that's what demanded to be heard here today. All right, first up we have the 2 of Pentacles, followed by the Emperor reversed, followed by the Knight of Pentacles. Next with the Queen of Wands. And lastly, we have the Ace of Swords reversed. Okay. So one thing I think is really interesting for you is the yellow we have. It's really popping for me. We've got it in the sunflower in the mountain here. Large very large amount of yellow in this Knight of Pentacles. We've got it in the 2 of Pentacles and in the Pentacles themselves. And then we have it here in this like light burst in the Ace of Swords. So to me, I feel like part of your path to your soulmate, part of the secret to finding your soulmate is for you to really claim and stand in your personal power. There's a need for you to lock in on your authenticity and be willing to be seen in that way. And it's like, it's not with the intention. Like, I feel like it's almost a message of like, your goal for doing this shouldn't be to find your soulmate, but a byproduct of you standing in your power in this way is that you will more naturally attract your soulmate. So it's about you, again, just really claiming your power, harnessing your power. Because the yellows, I should have mentioned this too. The yellow is your solar plexus chakra. So that is your will, your personal power, your authority. So I feel like there's a big calling on you to tap into that, to really harness that, to really have a sense of power and confidence about who you are, about what you want, and about what you're capable of. And it's that confident energy that's really going to put you in the place and on the path that you need to be on to naturally come into alignment with your soulmate. But let's go ahead and get into this card by card. So here with this 2 of Pentacles, this is a card that really speaks to balance. So for me, what I'm getting is you really need to come into balance with yourself. There's also a need to balance your internal and external worlds. Because I'm getting part of this with the Knight of Pentacles here, but I feel like there's a real need for you to kind of like, I'm getting like get off the hustle conveyor belt, which is such a weird phrase, but that's what I'm hearing. But like getting off the hustle conveyor belt so that you can really hear yourself, so that you can really find your power. And there's like a need to to slow down, to tap into who you really are. And once you do that, you're going to get a more authentic direction. You're going to get a more authentic path. And I'm really being drawn to these like black mountains that we have in the back here. So mountains speak to obstacles and hurdles to overcome. The fact that these mountains are black are kind of indicating to me that this might be some kind of like, there might be some kind of big obstacle that you have to overcome. Like if there's some kind of repeating pattern or some kind of repeating cycle that you have a hard time breaking out of. And like it's an example of maybe somebody who is like constantly in the same type of relationship that's not fulfilling, and they're constantly with the same person who isn't right for them, and they keep trying to break out of it. That's just an example of the energy that's not, doesn't have to be specifically true for you. But there's this like this idea of like there's this kind of like a black cloud that's almost keeping you in place, of like there's this hurdle that you just can't overcome, this cycle that you keep finding yourself in. And I feel like one big message with this card is that if you allow yourself to come into balance, if you allow yourself to slow down and tap into what is really true for you, how do you want to be working? How do you want to be showing up in the world? How do you want to be living? Once you have that clarity and you start like calibrating your energy to that space, to that reality, that's when these hurdles start to fall away. Because part of the reason you haven't been able to break through is because you're kind of like, bulldozing is coming up. Like it's like you're bulldozing through your life, kind of letting your mind lead. So it's like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is supposed to be working. This is the path, like all of this stuff. It's like once you have the direction, like you're gone. It's that type of energy. And I don't think that way is really aligned with you. So there's a need to slow down. Now with this, the Emperor coming up in the reversed placement, this is really giving me like a need for less structure, a need for more outside the box thinking, a need for more creativity. The Emperor is a very structured character. It's a very disciplined character. But this reversal to me is giving me the impression that you've kind of had too much of that energy, that you've been too structured, you've been too disciplined. And it's keeping you from coming into alignment with your soulmate, because it's like you're too locked in to a designated path. It's like you kind of get locked into an idea, get locked into a direction. And it's not to say the direction is necessarily bad, but when you go at things with full force, it's like this laser focused energy, this like laser focused determination. It's putting you in a position where you aren't, like it's giving you blinders. I guess that's the best way to put it, is it's giving you blinders, and it's making it hard for you to really see what's going on around you, for you to really come into contact with the person you're supposed to be with your soulmate, because you're so focused on like goals and like your trajectory, if that makes sense. So there's just this need to kind of come out of that energy, because it's leading us to this Knight of Pentacles. And this card coming up at the heart of your reading feels very, very vital. And it feels kind of like a turning point on your journey to finding your soulmate. I feel like this is the biggest secret. So the Knight of Pentacles is the slow and steady wins the race card. This is the card that really speaks to being very intentional and being very direct. Like you have a direction, but it's not about getting to the end. It's not about getting there as fast as you can. It's about laying a really solid foundation and moving through things with intention and confidence, especially with the Queen of Wands coming up next to this card. There's this need to like take a pause, because you notice this horse is not actually moving. This horse is standing still. So there's a need to kind of just slow down, take a pause, and assess the situation, and then decide the best path forward. And to get through step by step by taking these pauses, by slowing down, by constantly reassessing as new information emerges. Because that's also the thing with being in this kind of like intense, fast, forward motion energy, is once we start putting things into action, that means things are going to shift. That means the energy is going to shift. We're making waves. And because we're making waves, that means sometimes the original plan we thought would be effective isn't always as effective because the energy has shifted. So while it's a good idea to like have a direction to know where you're going, it's more important for you, especially in terms of coming into alignment with your soulmate, to slow down, to just take it step by step, to constantly reassess. Like, yes, you know where you're going, but after each step, check in. Does this still make sense? Does this original plan still make sense? Is there any changes that need to be made? And it's this learning to pause, creating space that's really important. And I'm getting it's important for you in your life with the energy that it puts you in naturally, but it's also important for like the life that you and your soulmate would build together. And then with this Queen of Wands, so I was talking about the yellow earlier. I jumped to the mountains. I wasn't even realizing that we have it in her skirt here. So there is with this Queen of Wands, the Queen of Wands is such a confident character. This is somebody who like is not afraid to approach people, is not afraid to share what she's up to, what she's offering, what she's into. And for you to really find your soulmate, this is the energy that you have to be in. You have to be wholly confident in who you are. You have to own who you are authentically, because here's what happens when you own who you are authentically. You are able to put your authentic self out there. And this might mean like publicly, of course, on social media or what have you. But more importantly, it means when you show up in real life that you are your most authentic self. As you interact with people, you show up with a level of authenticity that just cannot be matched. And because you're showing up authentically, you are actually giving your soulmate the opportunity to be attracted to you. Because your soulmate is ultimately going to be attracted to your most authentic self. So when you can own who you are and be open about it, it's inviting the right type of people in. Now, yes, there's definitely an element of vulnerability to this. So like this is something to work up to. But there's such a power in this, because when you are able to put this version of yourself out there confidently, this is how you call in your person. This is how you call in your soulmate. And lastly here, with the Ace of Swords reversed, with this reversal, I'm really getting like some kind of really big mental breakthrough. So like there's some kind of big epiphany that you have either about yourself, about your life, about what you want for life, about what really matters to you, what's really important to you, that just like this big epiphany is ultimately what puts you on the path to your soulmate, what puts you in alignment with finding this person. Because like whatever this is, like I'm almost getting this idea of like, oh, maybe you have this like this inner artist that has always wanted to come out and always wanted to shine, but maybe, you know, in childhood that was not supported. So you tucked your inner artist away. And as you like shed these layers and come into your more authentic self, find your power, all of that kind of stuff, this artist starts to emerge again. And once this artist emerged, maybe then you're inspired to do more with your art or to take art classes to really harness this. And it's in doing these things that like, let's say you end up in the class and your soulmate's also in the class. Now that is just an example of the energy. You don't have to actually have an inner artist, but the idea is it's like, as you uncover the layers of your authentic self and learn to stand in that proudly and really nourish and support that part of you, you're going to get these ideas, you're going to get these epiphanies, and these epiphanies are ultimately going to lead you in alignment with your person. They're going to lead you to places where your person is likely to be. Let's get some oracle cards on here. What else can you tell us about pile number one's journey to finding their soulmate? Connect with your soul family. This is super interesting. So, okay, soulmates are typically a part of a soul family. So if you're being called to connect with your soul family, this to me is like seeking out soul aligned people. So again, putting yourself in spaces where your type of person is going to be as you uncover your authentic self, as these layers really shed and emerge, and then the real you emerges. where does your soul want to go? What places does your soul want to be? Because that's where you're going to find your soulmate. But also I'm getting like connecting with your soul family. Like I feel like there's a whole family of people that are out there that are waiting to connect with you. So this is actually much more than just a romantic soulmate, though that is part of this. That's a big part of this. There is a whole soul family out there that wants to connect with you. And I'm also getting with this. So sometimes our soul families don't always reincarnate with us. Sometimes our soul families are a part of our spirit team. So I'm also reading this to be encouragement for you to connect with your spirit team more. Ask them for guidance. Ask them for direction, especially in terms of coming into union with this person. Your spirit team is there to help you, and I do think there's members of your soul family on your spirit team. What else can you tell us? Oh, go, another one flipped over. When I'm connected to my joyful presence, I attract support from the universe. Yes. To me, this is just like echoing and amplifying this reading. When you are connected to your joyful presence, and to really be in your joyful presence, to get that authentic joy, you have to be your authentic self. You have to allow that version of you to emerge. I attract support from the universe. And I'm also going to, this I attract is really popping off for me because I really see you attracting this person. Like I really see you attracting your soulmate. So for me, this is not so much about you having to actually do the finding or the seeking. You find your person by being your authentic self, and they're going to come to you, is what I'm saying. All right, last messages. Here we go for pile number 1, surprises. Under the most ordinary stone is an undisturbed garden. Yeah, I feel like there's lots of surprises to be had. And that's why this pausing, that's why this slowing down is so important. Because if you are going too fast, if you are going too like laser focused, you're going to miss the surprises. Like you haven't created space for the surprises. So slowing down and making space for the surprises, but also expecting them. Expecting surprises to come to you is a really big part of your journey right now. It's a really big part of your path to your soulmate. Light, look into the space between the trees for answers. So yeah, with this light, I feel like, again, light, we have more yellow. I wasn't even thinking about yellow on this card. I mean, this deck is naturally gold, but still, the yellow is popping so much. I'm also getting with this light message to lean into your lightness. Look at the ways where you have been told you had to harden yourself, where you had to toughen up or like show less weakness, hide your vulnerabilities. Those are actually the things that help you shine. Letting those things be seen in the light of day is just so crucial for you in terms of finding your soulmate, because again, like your soulmate is going to love those things about you. Those are the things that your soulmate is going to be most drawn to. And in order for this person to come in, for this person to find you, it's time for you to start shining. It's time for you to start shining who you truly are and letting yourself be seen in this beautiful, magical light. And on that note, pile number 1, I'm going to leave this reading here. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If this reading resonates, I'd love to know how in the comments. And if you enjoyed this reading, please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel. I would love to have you in future videos. If you would like a more personalized experience, I do have a variety of reading options available. You'll find those linked in the description box below. It includes live readings and also coaching sessions, which are so valuable and so powerful. And also, if none of that is right for you, but you still want to support the channel, I do have a donation link. Donations are never expected, but always appreciated, and they just go to support the growth of the channel. That's all I've got for you today, pile number 1. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you're having a wonderful day or night wherever you are in the world, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. Hey, pile 2, let's take a look at the secret to finding your soulmate. What is the secret for pile number 2 to find their soulmate? What is the secret for pile number 2 for finding their soulmate? What is the secret for pile number 2 for finding their soulmate? All right. First up for you, we've got Temperance reversed, followed by Death, The Three of Wands reversed. And the Fool. Oh, man. All right, so first of all, I think it's really interesting. So 3 of your 4 cards are major arcana cards. So the secret to finding your soulmate is, like, I feel like it's going to be a time in your life when, like, there's so much going on. There's some really big energies around you. And it's like I'm getting like you're kind of in this, like, really powerful energy when this person comes in. I also think it's really interesting that 2 of these cards have really dark backgrounds and 2 of them have really, like, light and colorful backgrounds. So I feel like that's a really interesting balance. And I think it's like, all right, so I'm getting 2 messages with this. One is that this part of the secret for you to finding your soulmate is to really come into balance with the lighter and dark parts of yourself. I think some people are kind of naturally more prone to lean into the darker parts, and some people tend to be naturally prone to lean into the lighter parts, but we need to be able to access both. And when I say dark, I'm not necessarily talking about, like, the shadow aspects, though you can lean into that if that's relevant to you, if that really resonates. But what I mean by dark is, like, you know how they talk about, like, dark feminine energy and light feminine energy, which is, like, dark feminine energy is more magnetic. That's the boundary setting. It's like the truth teller type of energy. And then there's the light feminine energy, which is more playful and like fun and that typical free energy that we associate with feminine energy. But there's also that dark side to it, and we really need both to live balanced lives. And the same is true with masculine energy. Masculine has both light and dark. And to really to live a full life, you need to be in union with both parts of that. So, and as ourselves, as people, we have light and dark parts of ourselves. And there's a need, again, just to have balance, to be really able and willing to access both parts of yourself and not shutting those things down. So part of your secret to finding your soulmate, again, is to come into union with yourself, to let the parts of yourself that you feel are shameful or are like unlovable, learn to love those parts of yourself. And the things that are really joyful for you, that are really exciting for you, learn to let those things out. Let people know, let people see that. You know, you don't always have to be somebody who's, like, wearing armor. And I feel like for most of you, you're probably going to skew to one or the other. So some of you need to work on embracing your dark side. Others need to work on embracing their light side. So you can take that as it resonates. But let's go ahead and get into the cards. So with this Temperance coming up in the reverse, I feel like there's a real need for you to get kind of balanced internally. So Temperance is a card of balance. It's also a card of, like, alchemizing energy, which actually really, I wasn't even thinking of that. It fits really well with, like, bringing both parts of yourself together, bringing all parts of yourself together. It's really alchemizing the parts of yourself that you think might not be supportive or good, and finding the power in those and turning them into something that is really supportive of you. And I feel like there's a need, again, because this card is coming up in the reverse, this is what's giving to me, like, that internalized energy that we're seeing here. And going back to the balance message of this card, this is asking you to address areas where you feel, like, frantic or untethered. This could be situations, or it could be like aspects of yourself that kind of just, you think you're fine, like there's no reason for you to be anxious about something. Nervous system work might be really helpful for you with that. But this is about kind of tending to the areas that make you feel unbalanced. Sometimes it's like the reason you're unbalanced is because this thing is not for you. I think that's really important to note, especially when it comes to anxiety. We're constantly conditioned to believe anxiety is always a bad thing when it doesn't have to be. Sometimes it can be, but I think we don't pay enough attention to the fact that anxiety is also an emotion, and emotions are here to tell us things. Emotions have information for us. And if there is a certain situation that constantly makes you anxious, like the example I love to give for this is, like, you know, let's say you have this great job that it pays well, all of the good things that on paper it looks great, but yet You are anxious every time you think about going there, and you are anxious when you pull into the parking lot or you on your commute and all of that stuff. Like, you are just so anxious all the time, but when you leave, you're not. Like, you're okay. It's just the thought of going to this environment and being in this environment is making you really anxious. That doesn't mean there's something wrong with you, that your job is making you anxious. It likely means that the job is not for you, and your anxiety is trying to tell you that. It's trying to tell you, we don't feel safe here. This isn't right for us. So this card is asking you to kind of tend to those areas. Go in and really explore what is making your anxiety spike, what is making you feel unbalanced, what is making you feel untethered, and assess, is this an environmental issue? Is there something that I need to change? Or is there internal work I need to do so that I'm less anxious in this environment? It's going to be different for everybody, but there's a need for you to come into balance with yourself. And because I feel like your grounded presence is what's necessary. Like, this isn't a connection that you want to enter into when you're like hyped up all the time, when you're out of balance. There's a need for you to really come into it in a more grounded way. And that leads us to the Death card. The Death card is such a powerful card. It's one of my favorites in the deck. I love that we have this butterfly here. It really speaks to change and transformation. This almost never means a literal death. I never read it as a literal death. It is metaphorical. It means that there is something in your life, or multiple somethings in your life, that need to go, that need to die. Again, this could be career. It could be a current relationship that you are in if that is not aligned, if that does not feel like a soulmate energy. There are just changes that need to be made. Like, this could also be like cutting off relationships with toxic people in your life, whether they're romantic or not. Because the thing is, when we allow relationships that aren't supportive of us, that naturally brings us down. That naturally makes it harder for us to be our authentic selves, for us to really shine. It's a weight on our energy. So there's just a need for you. Like, I'm really being drawn to, I forget what this tool is called. This tool here that is like, it is here to cut things down. And I feel like you are just kind of being called to really slash the things that are not supportive of you and let them die. And when you do this, there's some beautiful transformation that can happen. There's just some really beautiful transformation that can happen. And that transformation is ultimately a massive part of your path to finding your soulmate. Now, with this Three of Wands reversed, the Three of Wands, when this card is upright, really speaks to expansion. Like, and it tends to be external expansion, like doing new things, trying new activities, or like going to like trying to find a new career, that type of stuff. When this card shows up in the reverse, it's internal expansion. So it's like, as you are chopping things away with your life, as you're coming back into balance with yourself, it's then asking yourself, like, what's really for me? What if these things are not aligned? If I'm shaving these things away, I'm cutting these things out, what actually is for me? What's deeply in alignment with me? And I feel like when you do this, something very surprising is going to come up. And it might be a little scary, like it might be an edge. And that's okay. Edges are where growth happen. And you're being called to kind of lean into that edge, because when this thing comes up, we've got the Fool. Now, this Fool card, I also think it's interesting that we have this bird feather, this red bird feather coming up in both of these cards. I'm not getting a clear meaning on what that actually means. But that could be a sign for some of you. Like, if you start to see like a red feather, or just a feather in general, it could be a sign that you're heading in the right direction. But what I'm getting here with this is, when you start to expand, I feel like you're going to get like a really unconventional or surprising thing that's going to come in, and you are going to really be challenged to take a leap. And this card to me is here to say, if you are willing to do it, if you are really willing to take that leap, that is how you find your soulmate. Like, that is the secret to finding your soulmate, is that you have to take the leap. You have to try the new thing, because when you do, it puts you in such an expansive energy. But I also feel like that's what's going to put you in their orbit and them in your orbit. But it only comes after you take this really big risk. And let's add some oracle cards on here. What else do we have for pile number 2? little messy on me. Okay, here we go. The love within you is infinite. Share it freely with the world. Yeah, I feel like a lot of you, especially with that that light energy we're talking about, I feel like the light energy needs to be seen more. Like the things that you love, the things that really excite you, there's this need for you to kind of put yourself and your joys out there. And I do think that's part of what's going to be sparked within you. Also, though, with this death card, I feel like this part of how you know that something has to go is if it's stopping you from putting your joy out there. Like if there's a person that like, oh, you have this really cool thing that you want to share with the world, but if this person saw it, you would feel judged or you don't think they would support you and like it makes you shrink down, so that means you can't do it. No, that's probably a person that needs to not be in your life, or at least not be in your life as often. So it's that kind of energy where I feel like if there's anything that's standing in your way, take a look and see if that is something, a connection, a direction, what have you, that needs to find the door. What else do we have for pile number 2? I am a spirit having a human experience, and I am here to get closer to love. All right, love is really popping off in your oracle cards. We have it here, we have it here. So I feel like part of your journey to your soulmate is I think you might need to kind of work on your relationship to love. Like, what does love really mean to you? What does love really look like? And I don't just mean with a person, though I think that can be part of it. But also, like, what does it mean to really express love? Like love of something, like an activity, a show, a book, and then, a person. And how can you open to more love in your life? Because I feel like part of your journey, part of your secret to finding this person is how open can you get to love? Because it sounds easy and it sounds like something that most of us should be able to do, but that is a very vulnerable thing. It's very vulnerable to put yourself out there and say, I love this. Like, I love this thing or I love this person. And to be open to that level of love. So part of your secret is really opening up to that kind of love and getting clear on what it looks like. And how can you be more open to it? Where are you blocking yourself? Where are you cutting yourself off? And how can you be more open to it? All right, last messages for pile number 2. Last messages for pile number 2 on the secret to finding their soulmate. I really got one coming out for you. Oh, but I love this. Dance. Allow yourself some fun each day, just as the sun dances with the moon each night. Yeah, fun and joy is really important for you. Like really being called to open up to fun and joy. And love. Obviously, the love is popping off too. The more fun you can cultivate, I feel like the more room you are making in your life for your soulmate, because when that love comes in, like it is lightness, it is light, it is joy. But if you don't have the capacity to hold that, it's going to be very difficult for you to fully embrace it and for you to have the type of relationship that you want to have. And I think until you can get to that place, it's almost like the universe is going to keep giving you lessons to help you get there, because it doesn't want to put you in a situation that you will not get the most out of, especially when it comes to something like this. So how can you open yourself to love? How can you nurture yourself? How can you be more receptive to love? And how can you have more fun? Like I love this journey for you because it's about embracing fun and joy. And where can you find more of it? And isn't that magical? But on that note, pile number 2, I'm going to leave this reading here. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If this reading resonates, I'd love to know how in the comments. And if you enjoyed the reading, please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel. I would really love to have you in future videos. If you would like a more personalized experience, I do have several reading options below, including live readings, and there's also coaching sessions that you can book, which are so powerful and truly transformational. And if none of that is right for you, but you still want to support the channel, I do have a donation link. Donations are never expected, but always appreciated, and they just go to support the growth of the channel. But that's all I've got for you today. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you're having a wonderful day or night wherever you are in the world, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. Hey, Pal 3. Welcome to your reading. Let's take a look at the secret to finding your soulmate. What is the secret to finding pile number 3's soulmate? What is the secret to finding pile number 3's soulmate? That's 2 cards we've got. Let's get 2 more. One more for you. Pile number 3. This one's really talking to me. Okay. So first up, we've got the Star reversed, followed by the 6 of Wands, the 3 of Swords reversed, and the 7 of Cups. Okay. So one thing I heard right away with the Star reverse is you have to figure out who you are. Like, there's a need for you to get really clear on who you are and be willing to totally embody that. Be willing to totally lean in and be seen in that. And this doesn't mean that, every aspect of you right now is not authentic, but I think there's some kind of like layers that need to be shed. Layers of like societal programming, other people's hopes and dreams for you, that kind of stuff that is just really needs to be released in order for you to find this person. I also think it's interesting for you. We've got the same number, getting tongue-tied already. We have the same number of uprights and reversals, which to me is really speaking to a level of balance in your life. So there's this part of the secret to finding your soulmate is coming to a good balance where you're like spending time out and in the world, but also spending time with yourself and at home. So not fully in hermit mode, but not fully in like extroverted Queen of Wands mode either. Yeah, let's get into this card by card. So I've already kind of started with the Star reversed here, that there is a need for you to get really clear on who you are. The Star speaks to our authentic self. It speaks to the emergence of who we are. If you look at the major arcana cards, it comes after the Tower, which is the stripping away of things that were unstable, of things that felt like mainstays in our lives, but actually were built on unstable foundations. And what happens when those things fall away, we have the opportunity for who we really are to emerge. But this reversal is telling me that you might not be fully clear on who you are. Like, there's layers of self-discovery that you're being called to engage with right now. And a big part of finding your soulmate is first finding yourself. And even if you feel like you know yourself, there's some key piece of you. If you've chosen this group, I really believe there is some key piece of you that needs to emerge, that needs to be seen, and that needs to be acknowledged and developed. And that key piece of you, it's key in terms of this reading because it's that part of you that I think is going to be really attractive to your soulmate. And when you listen and honor that part of you, that's what's going to put you in the space or in the orbit of your soulmate. Because with the 6 of Wands, like, these 2 cards are really working hand in hand for me, really working really well in tandem. Like, you have to kind of discover yourself or a part of yourself, and you have to let it emerge, because the 6 of Wands speaks to 2 things. One, it's being seen and celebrated for who you are, but it's also like the courage to go out and be seen. Like, you have to put yourself out there, and it's being celebrated specifically for your gifts and talents. So I feel like there's a part of you that is not being seen and acknowledged right now, and it's a part of you that can be really helpful and supportive of people. Like, it's interesting too that we have this kind of mirror image that I'm almost getting, like, if you are willing to be seen in this way, if you are willing to stand in your power and to put like this part of yourself out there, you will have that power and joy and all of the things reflected back on you. And I love that we have this triangle here. There's like this level, like this idea of elevation, like it's almost like an arrowhead leading you up. So the more you are able to tap into this part of yourself, and the more you are willing to let this part of you be seen, the closer you will become to you will come to finding your soulmate. And this is a big piece of the secret to finding your soulmate, is that letting this part of you, and it's something that like kind of makes you like, it's an edge for you. Like it makes you be like, oh, I don't know if I want to go out there with that. Like honestly, for me, like I would say like tarot was that edge for a long time. Like, cause this is still like, I think tarot is a lot more mainstream. People are more accepting of it, but it actually isn't mainstream yet. Like this is still something that people look at and like, oh, that's weird, or they don't understand it. They think it's all about like fortune telling and things are set in stone, that kind of stuff, when that's really not what it's about. But still, showing up like that for me for a long time was really difficult because of that judgment. And so I feel like for you, it's something kind of similar, where there's something that it's almost like it's an edge. It's something that you are afraid to put yourself out there for various reasons. It's a little bit like, just not so sure about that, not so sure I want to be known for that. But if you can dig deep, do the work, and allow yourself to shine in this way, it's going to take you so far. And it's a big key in finding your soulmates. Another big key with this Three of Swords reversed, there is something that needs to be healed within you. For some of you, I'm getting like a past relationship, some kind of past relationship trauma. But even if it's not specifically a past relationship, there is some belief or wounding from your past that is stopping you from experiencing the love you deserve, from opening to the love that you deserve. I feel like some of you are kind of knowing what this is already. Others, you might not. But there's a need to go inward. I'm really being drawn to the way that this character is like holding the moon, but not too tight. Like she's holding the energy of the moon. And it's this idea of like gently nurturing this wound. Like you don't have to choke it. You don't have to force it out. You just have to explore it. You have to be gentle with it, and you have to take care of it and tend to it. So there's a need for tapping into that, and that's going to really put you on the path to your soulmate, because it's releasing old wounds. It's releasing the stuff that keeps you from where you're meant to be. And with the Seven of Cups, this to me is a message for you. Like you really have to learn to be discerning. Seven of Cups speaks to having lots of choices, but not everything is what it seems. Like we can only see the top of these cups here. We can't see what's actually in the cups below, like what's beneath the brim of these cups. All of this may not be good. Like it's where you have to be discerning, and there's an element too of trusting your intuition with this. So you might find yourself with actually lots of options for a romantic partner, but there's a need for you to really be discerning. Like it's not about you're not going to get where you want to go if you are dating lots of people. This doesn't mean you shouldn't be dating or you can't date, but you want to be very intentional with the people you are letting into your life. And part of this is because if you are kind of like rotating through dating apps and kind of just like going on a bunch of different dates, in your case, I'm getting the sense that that will actually be clogging up the system for your soulmate. Like it will keep your soulmate from coming into your orbit because you won't have room for them. So again, it's not saying that you can't date. It's just saying that you're going to be beneficial if you are very intentional and specific with who you are dating and who you are giving your time to. All right, let's get some oracle cards on here. What else do we have for pile number 3? What else can you tell us about pile number 3 and the secret to finding their finding their soulmate? Excuse me. All right, we've got the love within you is infinite. Share it freely with the world. Yeah. I feel like this is very much tied to this Three of Swords energy. You want to work on whatever it is that's keeping you from accepting love as fully as you need to, and being open to this love. I feel like it's more the openness and the acceptance. I think they're kind of linked, but it's more about opening to it. Like there's some kind of wound that's being carried that makes you feel fearful, that makes that feel exceptionally dangerous to do. So working through that is just going to be so vital for you. What else do we have for pile number 3? All right, we got 2 that came out, so we'll take them both. I witness the darkness and call on the light with my prayer. Thank you, universe, for guiding me to perceive this fear through the eyes of the teacher of love. So we've got love coming up again. This is asking you to really, when you are finding yourself, especially again, this 3 of Swords for this card too, because I feel like this 3 of Swords is really speaking to the darkness that's holding you back specifically. This wound, whatever it is, this experience, whatever it is, you are really being called to see how you can see this through the teacher of love. How can you bring more love into this situation? And this isn't saying like if this is a situation where someone has done something to you, if it is possible for you to offer that person love, by all means do it. But that is not saying, that's not what you have to do here. This is about giving love to yourself. This is about giving love and acknowledgement to your experience. This is about like nurturing yourself through that the way you may have wanted someone else to. So like, let's just say you had a bad experience with someone. It was really traumatizing. It's something it's a wound that you carry. When it first happened, it might have been less traumatizing if, you know, there was someone there to take care of you, to make like almost like treat. I've read once like sometimes when you're feeling emotionally unwell, the best thing you can do is have someone treat you like you're sick. Like make your favorite food, make you tea, like all of that kind of stuff. So it's like, what would your experience have been like if there was more nurturing through the process? And how can you nurture yourself through this healing process? How can you bring more love into the situation? Either to other people or the other person in the situation, but most importantly to yourself. My vibes speak louder than my words. Yes. I love that we've got these butterflies here, so I am getting real transformation energy. But I think the thing that's important to know, like this to me is big, like just work on your energy. You don't have to worry about like always saying the right thing or doing the right thing. I'm getting this energy of like being encouraged to take pressure off yourself. You don't have to be out in the world in this perfect way. You don't have to always have the right words. You don't have to always have the right, and I'm using right. I should be using the air quotes here. You don't have to always be doing the right thing. Your vibes will speak louder than your words. Your energy will tell people what they need to know. So I feel like, especially if you feel like you're coming into contact with your soulmate, or when you do, you don't have to worry about saying the right thing. You don't have to worry about like messing up or pushing them off, because your energy is all they need. Your energy is what's going to ultimately keep them in your orbit. So don't overthink it, is kind of what I'm getting. Just don't overthink it. What other messages do we have for pile number 3? Last messages for pile number 3 on the secret to finding their soulmate. Let's see, I want to get one more for you. I want that one. All right, so first up, we have hope. Any idea, like a single acorn can start a wonderful forest. So it doesn't take a lot. Like, this is interesting. I feel like you're being asked to lean into hope, but also the idea that like it's just a drop in the bucket. And that ripple effect is so powerful. So as you start to emerge, like I'm kind of getting this energy of going back to the star, like as this part of you starts to emerge, it can be in small ways. You don't have to move mountains here. Like this isn't about you doing the most and like doing all the healing work, doing all of this, like whatever this is part of you that's emerging, like being so seen and all of this kind of stuff. It can be in small ways. And it's that intention and that showing up with purpose that's really powerful and really supportive and really putting you on the path to your person. And then we've got journey, branch out into new worlds. Again, that's the star 6 of wands energy I'm getting. It's like you are really being encouraged to branch out into new worlds. There is a new version of you that wants to emerge. And when you do this, it's putting you in the position to meet your person. It's putting you in the position to find your soulmate. So be open to new things, be open to new experiences, be open to whatever this is, whatever facet of you that wants to come out and be seen. And do everything you can to just lean into it and support yourself through it is also really important. Take care of yourself because it is a growth point, but it's putting you on such a magical path, and it is the secret to finding your soulmate. But on that note, pile number 3, I'm going to leave this reading here. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If this reading resonated, I would love to know how in the comments. And if you enjoyed this reading, please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel. I would really love to have you in future videos. If you would like a more personalized experience, I do have several reading options linked below, including live readings and also coaching sessions, which are so incredibly powerful. If that is not right for you, but you want to support the channel, I also have a donation link below. Donations are never expected, but always appreciated, and they just go to support the growth of the channel. But that's all I've got for you today. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you're having a wonderful day or night, wherever you are in the world, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. Hey, Pile 4, welcome to your reading. Let's take a look at the secret to finding your soulmate. What is the secret to finding pile number 4's soulmate? What is the secret to finding? Oh, geez. All right, that's a little too many. We're going to take one flipped up. I'm going to take this one because it fell separate. Let's get you one more. What else can you tell us about the secret to finding pile number 4's soulmate? I want that one. Okay. So first up, we've got the 5 of Wands, followed by the 4 of Wands. Ooh, the 10 of Cups and Judgment. Oh, man, this is some really powerful energy here, and I love that for you. Okay. So first of all, one thing I think is very interesting, all of your cards are upright. So one key secret to finding your soulmate is you've got to be out in the world. Now, this doesn't mean that you should never stay home or anything like that, especially if you're an introvert. Time alone is important. We know this. But there is a need for you to be out in the world. Like for a lot of you, I don't feel like you are going to find this person on a dating app. It's going to be that you actually like meet in person. So that's why it's important for you to get out to do things, to have places to go, people to meet, all of that kind of stuff. But let's break this down a little bit more. So with this 5 of Wands, this is my card when it comes up. It's kind of my everyone's talking and nobody's listening card. Like you see all of these people, they're kind of just like pushing and shoving their wands. Like it's not super violent, but this isn't peaceful either. So what I'm getting with this is I feel like I'm getting this energy of a need to silence the noise. And because this card is upright, I feel like part of your journey to finding your soulmate, part of the secret to finding your soulmate is you've got to learn to block out the voices that do not matter. And for some people, this is going to be friends and family who have their thoughts and opinions and like to share them. For others, this is going to be content creators and online, like social media, that kind of stuff. There's a need just to be very particular about the advice you are taking in. And a need to kind of narrow down. Like for a lot of you, I'm getting like a need to cultivate your social media more intentionally. This doesn't mean you have to cut social media completely, though you can if that feels right to you, but I feel like there's a need to cut down and at the very least just cultivate your feeds. Be very intentional about who you are consuming content from and that make sure it's really aligned with you, and less is more. You know, I think it's better for you to go deep with a handful of creators than it is to like watch all of the things. Or watch like just like one video from a bunch of people. So in general, you want to make more space for your own voice. You want to make more space for what really matters and get clear on the people whose opinions are actually important and supportive of you. Now with the 4 of Wands, This is a beautiful card. It's a card of celebration. It's also a card of safety for me. So to me, the secret to finding your soulmate is you want to make sure this person feels safe. Like, this is someone who's going to feel very safe from the start. And I also feel like that's part of why it's so important for you to quiet the noise, because you need to be able to identify that safety. You need to be able to really feel into it and to know, like, oh, like, this is different. Like, this is what safe really feels like. Emotionally safe, physically safe, like all of the safes. You want to feel safe in every way possible. But to do that, you have to have less noise in your brain. You have to have your brain in a position that is not competing with your body, so your body can really speak to you. I also feel like for you, part of the secret to finding your soulmate is not to look too hard. Like, you've got to be out there and just living your life. And this card, this is a card of celebration. So I feel like it's like going after your own goals, going after your own dreams and visions and milestones. And not to the point that you have blinders on, because that's when we get to the point that we can't actually see. We might miss people. Like, you might miss your soulmate if you're going after something so intently that you have blinders on. But the point is, like, do your own thing. Go after your goals. Take breaks, take time for yourself, take times to go out and have fun so you can maybe meet this person. But it's about you doing you and having your accomplishments and celebrating your accomplishments. It's also possible you might meet this person like when you are out celebrating one of your accomplishments. I feel like that's going to be very specific and limited, but it's possible. Now with the 10 of Cups, the 10 of Cups. So this is a card that really speaks to happiness, fulfillment, family. And that family can look however you want it to look. Like, this is depicted with children. It doesn't have to have kids if that's not your thing, but it can be kids if that is your thing. There is just, like, I love that we have the way that, like, this shining energy here is really speaking to me. So I feel like there's this call for you to do what makes you shine. There's a call for you to do what really lights you up and what really deeply emotionally fulfills you. Also, a really key indicator of your soulmate is going to be that they help support the things that emotionally fulfill you, and they add to your own emotional fulfillment. Emotional safety, especially with these two cards coming up next to each other, emotional safety I think is going to be really big in this connection. So that's going to be a really big sign that that's your person. But I think if we're looking at this in terms of like your journey to finding this person, your secret to actually coming into alignment with this person, it's about you doing the things that light you up. So if you are living a life right now that is not lighting you up, it's time to make shifts to put you on that path. I'm also getting some of you need to know, like, you don't have to be fully established to come into alignment with your soulmate. It doesn't have to be something like you have the accomplishment and then your soulmate can come in, like then you're worthy of your soulmate. No. It's about how you're feeling. It's about how lit up you are. It's about how in alignment with your purpose you are, with the things that really ignite your soul, because that's going to put you in this really magnetic place. And that's what's going to help call your person in. Because all this is leading to judgment. This is the card that really speaks to like rising to the occasion, answering the call. So where are you being called right now? What are you being called to do? Because when you are answering your calling, that is what's going to put you in the orbit of your person. Like, that's the secret to finding your person is like, so for some of you, like if you're afraid to do the things that light you up because they're too unconventional and like, what if you don't meet someone that way? No, that is actually the secret to you meeting someone, to you meeting your soulmate. It's you doing this thing that you are being called to do. And because this is Phoenix energy, I feel like for some of you, this is something specifically that you've tried before and it has not worked out. Like this Phoenix rising from the ashes, you are being called to try again. Like you were called to it the first time for a reason, and it might not have worked out, but there are lessons to be learned from that. There are modifications you can make. There are ways you can do it differently. Don't let that lack of success stop you from living your dream and living your calling. You're being called to go back and try again. All right, let's add some oracle cards in here. What else do you have to tell us about the secret to finding pile number 4's soulmate? feel like I want 2 for you. Oh, one flipped over and we missed it. Okay. First, we have find the wisdom in challenges. What did we just say? What did we just say? That things, just because things don't work out doesn't mean you're not meant for them. There's lessons to be learned. And this is something I have had experience with, where there are things in my life that have not worked out the way I wanted them to, but if they did, I would have been miserable because of the way the situation was orchestrated. Like I would have been on like a cycle, on a path to burnout if everything had worked out the way I wanted to. That doesn't mean I'm not going to try again, or it doesn't mean I shouldn't try again. It just means I have to do things differently. And I gained a lot of wisdom from these experiences. And I feel like that's the energy you're being called. That's really what this Phoenix energy is speaking to. Like, don't let the things that didn't work out stop you. There really is wisdom in those challenges. There's things to be learned and things to be gained. And if you try again, man, like the position that's going to put you in is so powerful. And for some reason, you need to do that to find your soulmate. Like that's part of the secret here. And next we have connect with your soul family. So your soulmate doesn't have to just be, your soulmate tends to be, excuse me, I got off track. Your soulmate is a part of your soul family, but they are not the only person in your soul family. Our soul family is like they're people who we tend to reincarnate with again and again. Sometimes they will not reincarnate us, and they will also be a part of our spirit team. So you're being asked to connect with your soul family. So what are things that is aligned with your soul? The more you put yourself in alignment with your soul, the more you do these things that light you up, the more soul family you are going to find. Not everyone is going to be your romantic partner, but the more you nurture these connections, the more you're going to call in this partner. All right, what else do we have for pile number 4? What else do we have for pile number 4? My vibes speak louder than my words. Yeah, this is why you have to be answering your calling, doing your emotionally fulfilling things, living your life, tuning out the noise, because the noise blocks your vibes. The noise keeps you out of your own authentic energy. And when you do these things that we've talked about here, when you answer this call, when you live things that are most emotionally fulfilling to you, when you go after your dreams and goals, that is what truly amplifies your own authentic vibration. That is what helps you raise your vibration, and that is ultimately what's going to really speak to your person. So putting yourself in that space as much as possible is so beneficial and so supportive to you, and it's part of the secret to finding your soulmate. What else can you tell us about pile number 4? Any last messages you have for pile number 4? Oop, that one really flew out. Okay. We've got uncertainty. The shades of gray within the fog will eventually lift. Yes. So I feel like this is a message that going through this transition, and perhaps when you come into connection with your soulmate, there's going to be a period of uncertainty where I think it's mostly rooted in just the newness of it, like the newness in whatever these experiences are, and the uncertainty in their success. And then even with your person, the newness of this person and the uncertainty of where it might go. But there's just a need to kind of be with it, to be with that uncertainty, to feel into it, to move through it. The fog will eventually lift, but you have to be present. You have to be there for it when it does, so you can get that clarity. Unless we have strength, when your roots are deep, you need not fear the storm. Yes. And I think, again, this is why it's so important that you are really doing you, because this is what creates the deep roots. This is what creates the solid foundation. So you don't have to be afraid of any storm that might come your way. Like, I'm getting a big shedding of fears. I don't think it's necessarily intentional. Like, I don't see you actually sitting down and being like, I want to work on this fear. I see this as a natural byproduct of you moving through this phase of this like self-discovery and claiming your dreams and goals and all of that kind of stuff. And as you live that, as you lean into that, you become so much more fearless because you become so much more grounded and you become so much more authentic. And it just makes you so solid. And it's that solid energy that's going to really attract your soulmate. And I feel like it's going to really help you spot them because you will be so grounded and connected. Again, it's like once you get rid of these voices, all this extra noise, you have so much more clarity and you have so much more certainty. And I feel like it's such a huge part of your power, not just for finding your soulmate, but I feel like just for you living your life. There's this deep rooted strength that's coming through with this card, and I really, really love it for you. But on that note, pile number 4, I'm going to end this reading here. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If this reading resonates, I'd love to know how in the comments. And if you enjoy this reading, please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel. I would really love to have you in future videos. If you like a personalized experience, I do have several tarot reading options, including live readings. All that's linked below. There are also coaching options, a coaching session. You can book a coaching session. They are so powerful. And if that's not right for you, though, I do also have a donation link if you want to support the channel. Donations are never expected, but always appreciated, and they just go to support the growth of the channel. But that's all I've got for you today. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you're having a wonderful day or night wherever you are in the world. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.